leaving the familiar, to find a new horizon. From the subtle notes of sake, to the silent embrace of the snow country. Here, amidst Niigata's quiet strength, I rediscovered my own. The North Star. A 40-year-old Vancouverite finds quiet strength in Niigata. Stepping off the train at Niigata station, the air that greeted me wasn't the moist, green atmosphere of Vancouver, but a crisp, cold winter chill. For me, turning 40, travel is a form of meditation, a temporary escape from the everyday to truly recharge myself. My first stop on this journey was the Ponshukan, located right inside the station. Walking in, it felt like entering a small museum dedicated to Japanese sake. Walls were lined with bottles from over 90 breweries within Niigata Prefecture, each labeled and seemingly watching me. I exchanged currency for 500 yen coins and headed to the tasting corner. It was like a tapas bar, for sake. I carefully selected 5 varieties. The first, poured into a clear glass, was the famously dry Tanrei Karakuchi. Sipping it, the sensation was exquisite. It felt like the pure, cold melted snow of Niigata, cleansing my palate before smoothly passing down my throat. Next was Ginjoshu, where the sweetness of the rice was still alive. Its delicate, faint aroma was like the mist before dawn. As I absorbed the subtle differences in each sake, I realized that Niigata's rice wasn't merely a grain. It was an art infused with the region's winter and the brewer's dedication. After my morning tasting adventure, I decided on Tarekatsudon, a local specialty, for lunch. The moment I entered the restaurant, the aroma of the sweet and savory soy-based sauce whetted my appetite. 4 large pieces of tonkatsu pork cutlet were neatly placed over rice. The unique part was that instead of being served with sauce on the side, the freshly fried cutlet was quickly dipped into a special, sweet, soy-based glaze before being served. The cutlet retained its satisfying crispness while remaining juicy and tender inside, and eating it with the sauce-soaked rice was a simple yet warm comfort. It was an honest and straightforward flavor, quite unlike the fusion cuisine I was used to in Vancouver. In the afternoon, I strolled through the city. Walking across the Grand Bandai Bridge, I gazed at the gentle flow of the Shinano River. The bridge wasn't flashy, but the layered texture of its stone suggested the enduring resilience of Niigata. Leaving the downtown area, I arrived at the Teratamari fish market, which was buzzing with life. The strong voices of merchants haggling mingled with the slightly briny but fresh scent of leaping seafood. What particularly caught my eye were the freshly caught beni zuigani red snow crabs and the cold seawater-infused oysters. Dinner is settled, I thought to myself. In the evening, I found a small izakaya bustling with locals. I ordered the chilled sake I had enjoyed earlier, pairing it with local seafood dishes. The delicate essence of the rice in the sake harmonized perfectly with the salty flavors of the ocean's bounty. As a single woman in her 40s, this moment removed from the complexities of the world and focused solely on taste and sensation felt like a true holiday. The next morning, I took the junior train towards Echigo-Yuzawa, deep in Niigata's mountainous region. As the train left the city and ascended into the mountains, the scenery outside the window changed instantly. The mountains and fields were completely covered in snow, and their depth and purity were overwhelming. This was truly the setting of Yasunari Kawabata's novel, Snow Country: The Line. The train came out of the long tunnel into the snow country, unfolded right before my eyes. In that magnificent snowy landscape, where the boundaries of the world seemed to dissolve due to the sheer amount of snow, I felt a sense of solitude before nature, coupled with a liberating freedom. Arriving at the Echigo-Yuzawa ski resort, I geared up and hit the slopes. While I had experienced skiing at Vancouver's Whistler Mountain, the powder snow here was entirely different. It was light and soft, almost cushioning my fall even when I stumbled. As I glided down the snow-covered mountain, I heard nothing but the sound of the wind rushing past. Only the slope, the speed, and my body moving with the rhythm existed. I pushed aside the complex thoughts and responsibilities that came with 40 years of life, focusing only on the pure joy of movement and achievement. It was a form of mental detox. After expending energy cutting through the white snow all morning, around 2 p.m. I descended the mountain for a late lunch. Heading towards the center of the Echigo-Yuzawa town. I wanted a special lunch that could only be tasted in this snow country. Rather than the usual resort fare, I sought out the local specialty, hegi soba, made with funori, a type of seaweed used as a binder. The soba was surprisingly chewy and elastic. Served neatly piled on wooden trays, its flavor was simple yet refined. I felt as if the noodle's resilience embodied the perseverance and wisdom of the people who endured the hard labor of this snowy region. The bowl of hegi soba replenished my tired body. Arriving at the Ryokan traditional inn that I had booked, I checked in. After a brief rest accompanied by warm tea and a view of the snow-covered garden, I immediately changed into a yukata for the onsen experience. A strong sulfur scent pricked my nose, and as I sank into the cloudy, milky white thermal water, the heat penetrated every muscle. Cold winter air flowed above my head, while the snow-dusted rocks and bamboo enclosed me like a screen. Closing my eyes, I pondered the balance in my life. Cold and hot, solitude and liberation. In the moment all these opposites coexisted harmoniously. I felt a deep peace, as if the complex knots in my heart were untying themselves. Later that evening, I made my way to the Ryokan's dining area. Dinner was the long-awaited Kaiseki cuisine, arranged with artistic precision on small plates. The dishes embodied the essence of Niigata's rice, sea, and mountains. The first course was sakazuke aperitif, a small mouthful of vinegared sea cucumber and taro, serving as a refreshing signal to awaken my palate. This was followed by the chilled sukuri sashimi. The sea bream and winter yellowtail, caught near Niigata's coast, shone translucently. The thick yet chewy sea bream released a natural sweetness with every bite, while the winter yellowtail was exquisite, melting in my mouth with a rich, oily flavor. To complement this perfect moment, I poured a special limited edition of the local sake, Hakasian, recommended by the Ryokan. Tilting the glass, a delicate fragrance, like pear blossoms, rose. Taking a sip, it gently embraced the rich flavor of the sashimi, finishing with an appealing, restrained dryness. This sake seemed to prove that such a delicate taste was possible, even in this cold snow country. Next, the Awase Mano seasonal seafood hot pot began to simmer on the table. The clear broth was filled with seasonal clams, white fish, and resilient local mushrooms. As the steam enveloped my face, I was moved by the warm and deep comfort provided by these simple flavors. The final dish, kamameshi rice cooked in an iron pot, showcased the true value of Niigata's rice. The freshly cooked, lustrous rice was exceptional in its stickiness and sweetness. It needed no other side dish, just a touch of salt made it perfect. Slowly savoring each dish, I realized that Niigata was not merely a winter travel destination, but a space for me to meditate and reset the axis of my life. On the final day, I decided to explore Sado Island, a world completely different from the mainland. As the ferry carried me toward the island early in the morning, the sea was calm, yet the movement of the boat slicing through it was magnificent. Sado Island held an isolated beauty that stemmed from its very detachment from the main island. Upon arrival, I first visited the old gold mine ruins. The old tunnels and shafts, steeped in a history of past prosperity and decline, conveyed a heavy sense of history, quite unlike the modern landscape of Vancouver. Walking through the ruins, I imagined how dynamic and intense this place once was. After briefly observing a traditional performance in the OGI area, I drove along the coast. The contrast between the rugged cliffs and the emerald green sea was breathtaking. Lunch, of course, was the island's seafood, particularly the fresh Sado crab and oysters. The sweetness of the steamed crab meat and the freshness of the sea-scented oysters were an experience of tasting the island's very identity. It was not just a meal, but a blessing of nature's abundance that the island had preserved for centuries. Late in the afternoon, on the ferry back to the mainland, I reflected on my 3-day journey. Amidst the delicate flavors of Niigata's sake, the liberation in the snow country, and the isolated beauty of Sado Island, I found a quiet yet clear answer to how the 40-year-old me should approach life, at what speed and with what attitude. Even after returning to Vancouver, I knew that Niigata's quiet, strong beauty would remain with me, like a north star in my heart.